Although they ultimately lost the match, Manchester United put in a strong performance, successfully challenging Arsenal and creating multiple tactical problems for Arteta's side. In this analysis, I'll break down some of Ruben Amorim's key patterns that allowed his team to break through Arsenal's high press and generate goal-scoring opportunities. Manchester United lined up in their usual 3-4-3. A key detail occurs when the team builds from zone 1 involving the goalkeeper. The central defender in the middle steps up a line, joining Casemiro behind the first pressing line. Consequently, Bruno Fernandes gains the freedom to advance a line, positioning himself behind the three forwards. Defensively, Arsenal organized in a 4-1-4-1, aiming to constrain United's build-up from the higher zones. Once the first pressing line finds the optimal timing to close passing lanes, the team activates their high press, with the striker Gyökeres continuing the pressure and influencing the goalkeeper's actions. At this stage, individual references are already established. Saka, for example, conditions United's left central defender, while the defensive midfielder and back line slide laterally, preparing to trigger pressure on the right flank. Arteta's plan is clear. Ben White, the right back, steps up to press Dorgu, while Zubimendi, the defensive midfielder, stabilizes the corridor, leaving Bruno Fernandes free to monitor Mason Mount. Manchester United's strategy is clear. Exploit this 2v1 situation between Dorgu and Mason Mount against Ben White to locate the free man, whether Mason Mount or Bruno Fernandes. Once the press is broken and the ball carrier is unpressured, Manchester United looks to exploit the space behind the defensive line. The secondary forwards, especially Mbeumo, attack the space aggressively, targeting the central to fullback channels, while the wide midfielder remains an option on the outside. Now, let's look at another example. This time, with Arsenal adjusting their pressing structure in an attempt to neutralize Manchester United's numerical superiority. The ball is played into Dorgu, and Ben White steps out to press. Mason Mount immediately looks to exploit the space in behind the fullback, while Zubimendi shifts across to cover. On this occasion, however, we also see Gabriel, the left-sided center back, stepping forward to press Bruno Fernandes, preventing him from receiving freely. Despite the numerical equality, Manchester United already display interesting attacking patterns that will only improve over time, especially with the qualities that Sesko will add to the team. Mason Mount's movement not only provides a passing option, but also serves to drag the midfielder and open space for interior combinations through the striker. When the ball is played into the forward's feet, we often see quick third-man dynamics designed to release a free player. This makes individual marking much harder to sustain, as rapid one-touch combinations immediately create openings. In this situation, Bruno Fernandes can appear free and facing the game, while Mason Mount, who traditionally prefers to receive to feet, could also make runs in behind, either as a direct option into space or as a decoy to draw defenders and free up Bruno. With Arsenal compacted towards the ball side, even forcing the left back to tuck inside, Mbeumo chooses to hold his position in the half space, allowing United to switch the play. From there, the wide midfielder can accelerate, creating a 2v1 against the opposing fullback and generating a clear goal-scoring opportunity. To finish, let's look at one last clip, which clearly illustrates Arsenal's use of individual references to initiate their high-pressing phase. Here, Manchester United, with the wide midfielder positioned higher, present a different dynamic, fixing one reference in width and allowing the second forward to receive to feet. In these 1v1 situations, we can expect the best from United, either a quick first-touch acceleration to connect with a frontal support and combine inside, or an individual action of quality to break the press and drive the attack forward. Fantastic details from Matheus Cunha here, not only in the way he eliminates Ben White from the duel, but also in how he holds off the physical challenge and continues to progress with the ball. We then see the dynamic of the forward line, with the striker timing his curved run in behind. This movement creates a double option for the ball carrier, either exploit the depth directly or drag defenders out of position and free Mbeumo in the gaps between them. With Mbeumo receiving in the space, he can immediately face the defender in a 1v1, while the wide midfielder accelerates to create superiority. In this situation, however, the movement works against Mbeumo rather than helping him, because the wide midfielder chooses the underlap instead of the overlap. As a result, he not only fails to create additional space, but also occupies the very zone where Mbeumo prefers to threaten with his left foot, whether to finish himself or to release the overlapping run.